Hey everybody, welcome back to Geeks vs. Geeks for another review. And today we are doing a board game review. Listen, with Thanksgiving around the corner, everybody's getting ready for the holiday season. So why not talk about some things you can do with your friends and family to celebrate the season and generally just have a good time getting into the holiday spirit. The folks at Gamey sent us over one of their latest creations that is just perfect for such a situation. It's called the Tree Trimming Game. And it's the latest board game you can play with up to 2 to 24 players. It's a cooperative tile laying game that involves putting decorations on the Christmas tree to create the nicest pattern possible. And along the way, you sing songs, share memories, have laughs, eat wonderful holiday snacks, and even name Christmas elves. There's a bunch to do in this game, so let's go check it out and talk about the Tree Trimming Game.
The Tree Trimming Game by Gamey is a cooperative puzzle game for family and friends that can be played with 2 all the way up to 24 players, ages 7 and up. The big red box that the game comes in is pretty heavy, and that is the result of the use of nice thick cardstock for all the elements, except for the wooden star. And a big part of that is the massive playboard that took up a large portion of a 6-seated dining room table, and that makes it so easy to use, and it looks impressive in its size. One of the things the board game doesn't come with is an instruction manual. In fact, all the rules are written on the board itself, making use of all the borders of this massive game board. Now, some people might like that because it's easy to have all the rules available for everybody at all times. Other people might not like that aesthetic. Personally, I thought this was a very useful way of looking up the rules as we were playing. First thing we're going to do here is actually select a couple of tiles that we just leave in the box. It's easy there to shuffle them up and then grab 3 tiles for every player. And then again, the rules are on the board so we could easily follow along how to play, and the star we keep aside for later. Now, what's really interesting about this game is that, again, there is a little bit of a tactic involved while you're playing. The first player, which is usually the youngest, gets to put out the first tile, and that could be anywhere on the board. And then everybody else takes their turn, putting 1 tile down at a time. Now, the objective is to create the nicest Christmas tree that you can think of. You have to follow certain rules that are on the board, where tiles cannot touch each other if they're of the same object. And at the very end, the person with the least tiles in their hands actually get to place the star on the top of the tree, celebrating the decoration of the whole tree. The concept of decoration is very straightforward. Again, the rules are simple and on the board. It comes down to placing tiles wherever you want on the board, and then when it's your turn, you take one of the tiles in your hand and you place it next to the one that's already on the board. The rule is that you can place them horizontally or vertically next to the other item, but you cannot place them diagonally. Now, if the ornament that you have is the same kind, so for instance another candy cane or another bell, then you cannot place it anywhere near the previous placed card. That includes diagonals, so you cannot attach it to any of the sides, but also not any of the corners, so you have to make sure you put that far away from it. As a result, you get a more spread out set of ornaments throughout the whole tree. Again, you start with 3 cards in your hand. You keep playing 1 card at a time until you have your hand empty, and then you can take new cards anytime up to your turn, so it doesn't have to be immediately at the end of your turn. But by the time it is your turn, you should have 3 cards in your hand. So you cannot just grab 1. It has to be 3 or nothing. Now, if you cannot place any of the tiles in your hand because they are not the right one that will fit in the pattern, you'll have to keep grabbing a new tile until you have one that does work. This could result, of course, in having multiple cards in your hand. There is no hand limit. There is only that minimum. Every now and then, you can actually place a tile on a star square, and if that's the case, you're supposed to grab a holiday spirit card and read it out loud. Some of these have topics you can discuss with your friends at the table. For instance, do you prefer hot chocolate or eggnog? Which one is the better one? Other ones are activities such as singing a song or grabbing a Christmas snack. You have to be prepared to get those done and ready. Just participate, have a good time. And of course, everybody at the table gets to join in or gets to challenge you and have these discussions. Now, some of the cards also change the game a little bit. They, for instance, make tiles come off the board, put on the board, maybe give some of the tiles from your hand to another player. So there's a little bit of that teasing in there, a little of a game shift, but nothing of it is really dramatically game-breaking or game-changing. A fun side effect of the cards is that it can really drive the conversation while you're playing, so the card might already be resolved and people are still talking about their favorite holiday drink, or about their favorite snack, or who is the better elf, things like that. They might still be singing songs together. So they really drive the conversation and build those memories that you can have when you play games together and having a good time. Now, we did find that when you play the game for a while, some of the Spears cards seems to be duplicating. For instance, there are multiple Name the Elf cards, there's multiple Sing Song cards. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but after a while it could feel a little repetitive. So we were really hoping that there will be an expansion pack available at some point, and maybe they could be in different categories. Talk about movies, talk about songs more specifically. So just a variation in the kind of gameplay that the game has. Of course, that should be optional, but it would be nice to have, even if we just create our own different rules or activities for these cards and just stick them in the deck. Probably would be a nice thing to do and add really to the gameplay. The artwork of this whole set is pretty basic, but is very effective in what it aims to be. Of course, there are a lot of Christmas red and greens, as you can see, and the ornaments of the tiles are varied and well drawn despite the simple designs. There's actually some unique ornaments in there that we delighted over as we discovered them throughout the game. It kind of felt like you're a little winner if you pull that one tile out that was unique. Now, the one thing that I didn't like about the box layout, and I was not a big fan of it, was that the tiles are basically packed on top of everything, about 3 stacks high, because the inlay of the box doesn't really allow for tile placements there. And I wish they created more of an inlay for that, so it would be under the main board rather than on top of it. But overall, it packs up really well. The lid fits on just fine. It just takes a little bit more time cleaning everything up that way. Once the tree is full, it's time to check who has the least number of tiles in their hands. That person gets to put the star on top of the tree, the honor bestowed on the magical person who has done the best decorating. In our case, we actually had a few people with the same number of tiles, and we didn't see a tiebreaker, so we collectively decided to place the star together at the same time, and that created for a nice, heartwarming moment that we really enjoyed together.
Okay, everybody, that is for our review of the tree trimming game. Like I said in the review, it is mostly an experience, a way to unlock core memories with your friends and family during the holiday season. It is something that is fun to play, not very difficult. It says ages 7 and up on the box, but I truly believe that you can play this with younger children as well. Of course, you might have to help them a little bit, but the game is not that serious, which is what makes it so much fun. It is something to do, an activity that you can do instead of sitting around everybody looking at their personal screens. You now spend time with each other. Even after the game was over, in our game playthrough that we had, we spent quite some time afterwards still sitting at the table talking about Christmas and the holidays, past and present and future, just to talk about what we liked, what our traditions are, what the good memories were from all these different times. So if you're looking for something that can build a new family tradition, this might be the game for you. Now, I would be remiss if I don't talk about the price. It is $40, which seems a little steep. I will say that the quality, again, of the board game, the components is good. It's great thick stock card. It feels heavy. It is well built. So it is a game that is going to last you for many, many years to come. And of course, you can play it multiple times throughout the holiday season. Outside of that, there's not much purpose for it, so that narrows that down as well. But if you build a tradition, this might be well worth the money. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you can, please like and share, and if you want, also share with us your favorite holiday traditions of your family and friend group. We would love to know what they are, and who knows, maybe we can build new ones of our own as well. If you do get the game, share with us how that went for you, and if you had a good time or not. Again, we would love to hear from you. That is it for now. I see you guys next time. Until then, stay safe, stay wonderfully geeky, and have a wonderful, wonderful time this holiday season. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.